Should diabetics fast?
Certainly.
All right. Tell me more.
As I just said, that our body is having a huge deposit of fat. That analogy of fixed deposit, right? So tell me, if we have liquid cash in hand, will we use the fixed deposit? Will we break the fixed deposit?
There's no need to.
There's no need to. Our body is also very intelligent. So basically what happens is there is a switch in the body.
Okay.
It's called metabolic switch. So insulin is the trigger for that.
Okay.
So whenever we eat any food, it is converted into glucose. General foods that we eat, say for example roti, rice, idli, dosa, whatever we are eating, it's converted into glucose. So this glucose, if it is there in the blood, our blood will prefer glucose. It's a very, very easy to, it can easily break it down.
Low hanging fruit. It's
low
there.
Hanging.
Right.
So what happens when we, suppose if we've had our dinner and we are sleeping now throughout the night, right? What happens is that our body is now surviving on after the food, after the whatever glucose we got from the food, it is digested, it is moved to either form the glycogen or fat or energy. So these three things happen. And after 3 hours, our body now goes into a very low insulin mode.
Okay.
So the more the glucose, the more the insulin in the body, right? Now when the insulin goes low, there is another hormone which will again start, working. That's called, वो उसका cousin है insulin का. That's called glucagon. So the glucagon, which is released by the alpha cells, it kind of works on the liver and tells the liver now the glucose is going low. So now we need to release glucose to maintain the glucose levels. So the glucose starts getting used up.
Okay.
Right? And this glucose, when it gets starts getting used up from the glycogen, then glucose is made from the glycogen, and this glucose, when the glycogen is also over, say for example you go on to fast till maybe another 7 hours. So glycogen, depending on what your this thing is, the glycogen stores are also over, right? Now where do I go? I have not eaten, right? Now the body has to tap in on the fats.
Okay.
So it's not that we make you fast for this long in the beginning. We'll just make you fast gradually, maybe increase the fasting window gradually.
So just again to go back to the analogy, because I really like it, right?
Right.
When you're moving, you're sort of using your current account.
Right.
When you stop eating,
right,
money stops coming into the account, but you're still spending it.
Right.
Then you finish your current, then you finish your saving,
Correct.
and finally you start using your fixed deposit.
Fixed deposit.
And when your fixed deposit comes to zero, close to zero,
right,
is when the fat around the organs
right,
has depleted,
right,
and your body's function starts coming to normal. All right.
Exactly. But it's not so simple that your visceral fat will start. So the body starts losing subcutaneous fat.
मतलब around your arms, face, neck,
so लोग कहते हैं अरे यार ये तू बहुत ही ज़्यादा ऐसे लीन हो गया है, मतलब कहते हैं ना कि अब ज़्यादा healthy हो गया है.
Correct, yeah.
That is the way it goes.
Understood.
The sad part.
So you can't choose कहाँ से जाएगा.
Right.
And the same technique applies to both.
Right. Right. But once you have lost your visceral fat, then we have to start building the muscles.
All right.
So the fasting will make you lose fat, but it will, if we do very long fasting only, and then exercise also simultaneously, and eat nicely after we fast. See, generally what happens is, after we break the fast, when we break the fast, we kind of, don't think what we are eating, what is in our plate.
Correct. हमें in fact उल्टा लगता है ना. It's because we have fasted.
So we are eligible to eat. So it's like our, we've earned it now.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But that defeats the purpose.
Okay.
So what we eat after we break the fast matters a lot. So
your tips in point 1 will apply into the feeding interval after fasting.
After fasting.
But tell me, so for someone who's never fasted before, let's say I'm eating my dinner at 8 at night, I'm eating my breakfast at 8 in the morning. How do I start? So, what is the recommendation to get going?
Always start with the night window. That's the easiest,
Okay.
Even if you're eating late, that's okay. You can just start with 12 hours minimum.
Okay.
Minimum 12 hours also is good to go, and everyone can do it, almost everyone. And you can have anything in between which does not release insulin in the blood, which does not trigger insulin release in the blood.
Okay, examples?
Examples, green tea, black tea. You can have a smoothie probably made of cucumber and all, without any fruit.
Oh, so vegetable smoothies.
Only vegetable smoothie, vegetable juice also. Then we can also have a coconut milk. You can have, I know, little bit of insulin will get spiked, but then that is minimal. So in coconut, nuts.
You can have nuts as well?
Yes, nut milk can be had in a small amount with the tea or something. It gives you satiety.
So you're saying if I want to start fasting tomorrow,
yes,
the easiest place to start is maybe pull my dinner back.
Yes.
Half an hour,
right.
1 hour.
Right.
And then if I'm still hungry before going to sleep, I can take some of these ingredients. Like green tea, black coffee, black
even
tea.
Soups, clear soups work a lot. So whenever we are fasting and the fasting window, if it is getting unbearable for us, what we can do is we can have something warm. So something warm actually helps us to release that serotonin. It triggers that, it calms our body. So ghrelin hormone, which is there at the peak, when we are fasting, it won't last more than 20 or 30 minutes as per your circadian rhythm.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That means you feel only 20-30 minutes of
hunger
at your peak.
Right. And that is also because you've been used to it. So it's your own rhythm of the body.
Understood.
But it never stays at the peak. It goes down.
So then the next natural question is, how long should you fast? Right? Is there a number? 16, 18, 14?
That entirely is your call.
Okay.
I would say never start from long fasts. Start slow, gradually, because we should have that sense. We should know our body. We should start seeing what is my call. Like, what is it that suits me? So I've seen some people do well with just 14 hours fast. But we have seen that some people, it triggers headaches. But we need to see what kind of an headache it is. It is generally, some people like who have stomach, basically, they tend to, the hunger triggers the headache. So then we need to understand that what will give me respite, what food will give me respite. Then we should have something like a high protein food.
Okay.
it helps. It helps because it stays in your stomach for a longer time.
Correct.
So whenever you break your fast, I would always recommend a high protein food which will stay in your stomach and keep you satisfied.
What would an example of that be? Agar typically for a vegetarian, eggs to aate nahi hai, paneer kha nahi sakte because it's dairy.
Right.
So
you can
what
have
other high protein?
Sprouts.
Okay.
You can have tofu.
Okay.
You can have chilas made out of besan, moong dal, but whole use karo to acha hai. Then you can have something like dhoklas. They keep you full for a longer time.
Understood.
Because dals have that starch which gets released very slowly.
Understood. So the glycemic index
is
lower.
low and keeps you full also.